Drake Baldwin is starting off the year hot with already 3 home runs. Can he continue this pace up? Find out today.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. I'm Matthew Onato, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcasting network. Thank you to our everydayers and new listeners for making us your first listen each and every day. Dom and I are longtime fantasy baseball analysts with over 40 years of fantasy baseball knowledge, and the reason we do this show is to share that knowledge with you. So wherever you're watching or listening, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review, and make sure to check out our 30-minute videos where we give you all the insight in the world on how to win your leagues, manage your day-by-days, weekly matchups, daily matchups, all that under the sun. So make sure to tune into that as well. So today we are going to be talking about the Atlanta Braves, Drake Baldwin, the catcher for the Atlanta Braves. He is on a hot start. Cranked a home run as I'm recording. I'm recording on March 31st. He has 3 home runs on the season and is absolutely crushing the ball. I love it. So the question becomes, is this hot start sustainable, right? Did you hit the lottery? So as I look at everything, right, we have to look at things with kind of like with a very nitpicky eye, right? Like we have to look at everything because obviously in the small sample sizes, things become more exorbitant and look super overperformance. And obviously we have to factor in for negative regression because this is an unsustainable pace. But it's nice to see that he's coming out the gate hot, right? Like right now through, literally 16 at bats that he's had on the season, he's barreling 15.4% of the time and creating hard hit percentage of 69.2%. Now, obviously, the hard hit percentage is absolutely unsustainable. To hit the ball hard 70% of the time is ridiculous. But what's the beautiful part is you look at what Drake Baldwin did last year, you factor it into this early hot start, and you say, okay, what's the mean? Well, last year through a full season, he had 49.6% hard hit percentage. This year, obviously, well overperforming that with the short sample size of 69.4. Mean is probably more like 49 to 52% hard hit percentage, which that would equate to what he's doing is a consistent pace that, well, not the pace, but essentially the performance you can expect for it to be good all season long in the hard hit percentage. Now, the 15% barrel percentage in this year compared to last year's 11% still is within range of something that is realistic and sustainable and consistently repeated throughout the whole season. So in the case of Drake Baldwin, right, you want to look at him and evaluate him based off of those two things for the power numbers. And you say, okay, cool. Where do I stand? Well, he did X last year and he started off the year like this. It says that things are going to trend in the right direction because he's picked up right where he left off essentially. And yes, we're going to expect some negative regression, but ultimately Baldwin is going to continue. What I like about this season, though, too, is the batting average is at 313. I like that a lot. Obviously, I think there's going to be negative regression. I look at the X batting average as a 272. So somewhere along in between, and he hit 274 last year. So you start looking at it and you go, things are looking, like he's ready to just repeat what he did last year, which gets me excited because I was all over him in the offseason saying, okay, this is the kid you want. This is the catcher that I want to draft. He was the first catcher I put in a must draft episode and in a My Guys episode, I might add. Period, because I felt like the price was right and it wasn't absolutely atrocious based off of ADP, the guys going around him. He could actually perform on their level. And he is going to be a difference maker. I won't be surprised this year if he finishes as the catcher 1 or 2. I think Cal Raleigh will probably finish as 1, but Baldwin will be right behind him. I don't think he can hit 40 home runs, obviously, but I think he can hit 30. And I think this is definitely well within the realm of expectation with the team that he's around, with Ronald Acuna for a full season, Matt Olson, Riley Green, Austin Riley. He's in a spot to be successful. And I think that it's already looking based off of the underlying stats that he can do exactly what we're hoping he can do. Coming up next is, honestly, how I'm approaching him this season. You know, is he a guy we're going to want to trade for or away? Coming up right after this. The MLB season is back. You can feel it. Fresh starts, big expectations, first crack of the bat. Whether it's a breakout rookie or division race going down to the wire, there's nothing like being at the ballpark for it. The only problem is getting tickets. It can feel like a grind, long queues, surprise fees, price jump at the checkout. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives you advantage back to you, right? With consistent innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple. The Game Time app, guarantees you get 100% authentic tickets, delivers on time, and at the best price. And here's the best part: fees are included up front, so the price you see is actually what the price you pay. Period. No questions asked. The seat views are insane. Honestly, you get a panoramic view. You get to see, okay, am I sitting behind that pole? No, cool. Seat looks good. Bet. Then they got zone deals. And zone deals are really cool. You pick the section, Game Time chooses the seats, and you get a great experience. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats in minutes. That's what makes it easy deciding last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time app today. What if sports were like a trade markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell position live all game long. Your sports knowledge in the moment that matters. Robinhood prediction markets change the game. It's people moving the action, so the momentum shifts. You can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply the knowledge. Now I can actually take part in a live market powered by people. You no longer have just a spectator, play-by-play. You decide every trade, play with Robinhood. Now available across U.S. Download Robinhood app now to begin. Futures are clear swap tradings, involve a significant risk, and are not appropriate for everyone. Every contract are offered by Robinhood Derivative LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. So let's look at this, right? Like everything I've said about Baldwin so far has been on the very positive side, right? And I think that, yes, it's sustainable. How are we handling him for rest of season, right? Well, ultimately, do you trade him away? Do you try and capitalize on the value now? I think he's a hold. For me, it would have to take a very overwhelming offer for me to trade Drake Baldwin away. Concerns about Drake Baldwin is Sean Murphy is getting cleared to come back soon. Can he take some of that playing time away? I don't think so. I think Murphy will be in there for when he needs days off. I think that him being slotted in as hitting 2 in the batting order kind of solidifies the belief in his bat and where he is in terms of a staple of the lineup. So Baldwin, I think, should get 80% of the reps, and hopefully he gets some DH action as well and gets everyday play almost. Maybe only misses 10 games. That would really put him in a high stratosphere in the terms of a tier with Cal Raleigh, who plays literally every game. My biggest problem with some catchers is they're great, but they only play so many games, and then therefore they get limited at bats, and then therefore you get limited output from your catcher. That's why I don't value the catcher all that much. And Baldwin, I think, is a good price. He was a good price in the draft, and ultimately, if he can play every day, he's obviously his price is going to go up in 27, but you're going to get ROP, which is return on your pick. And that's kind of really what matters at the end of the day. So if you drafted him 100%, feel great about it. You definitely made the right move. If you're playing Yahoo leagues, he's actually available in 8% of leagues. He's 92% owned, which is kind of baffling for me. That should be 99 for me. I love Baldwin. So add him literally everywhere. If he is for some whatever reason, I don't care how shallow the league is. There's a potential and there's a ceiling that I think he's going to hit, especially with the Braves lineup in terms of runs and ribs too, hitting second in that batting order. So the ceiling is greater than most. So Baldwin is a guy I'm prioritizing. Honestly, I might even trade for him in a lot of aspects too, because a lot of people don't value catcher. And if you can offer something in return, like, okay, like I got Will Smith, who's a great catcher. You offer him and then a piece that improves their lineup, you know, you're you're not breaking even because I think the ceiling is higher with Baldwin. So, if I can do that and not have to give too much on top, but like, essentially, make it worth their while. And you can put a name in there, or it just really comes down to things like that. So, I mean, I really like them, truly. And maybe there's a team that, you can really just come after, and they might have drafted two catchers for whatever stupid reason, unless they're in a two catcher league. You can really go after Baldwin. And really, when I'm so mad I did not get a share of him this year, it really is disappointing. The kid's going to be really good. So try and get your shares if you can. If you can trade for him and get him snuck into a trade, I would. Um, that one's hard to pinpoint with him doing so hot right now in terms of what you'd be able to give up and get. It's team by team basis, but I would try and fit their needs as best as possible if you're trying to go out and get Drake Baldwin. But guys, that's all I got for today. So, please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, do everything you can to really share this show. Make sure to check out our 30-minute videos where, we have a whole, daily set list where we cover at minimum 8 players a day, and, who to add, who to drop, who to trade for, etc. All these things that are going to help you win your leagues. So stick around for that. Peace out, guys.